All right, Craig, we are live
Yes, we
and
are.
we're excited about this. This is going to be an every week thing. We'll see, but yeah,
Hopefully.
probably. We'll do a every
Why
week
not?
thing, talking Lions and talking Pistons. How do you feel about it going live here?
I like going live. I think for me, what really changed the dynamic of it was, I mean, the NFL draft's a blast every year. Love doing it. But then when we did the NBA draft and just to see kind of the support and how we got kind of out of pocket even with some of the fans and we started going off old players and stuff like that, it made me realize like how much we always knew it. We always love reading comments, but when you can do it live, it's pretty cool and
Yeah,
talk to people. So feel free, comment
absolutely.
away,
Hit us with the
people. Get
comments.
join in on this conversation.
Absolutely. And we're going to go through a handful of topics and hit them as we go. So let's go with the first topic. So, first thing, Craig, is Jaden Ivey.
Oh yeah,
Here's something I was looking up on Jaden Ivey because I'm just thinking, when's he gonna go? Because doesn't it feel like he's got it, he's got the game, but like when do you go? So I just looked up a couple of random guards: James Harden, Ray
oh,
Allen,
those
Dwayne
aren't
Wade.
random.
Just yeah, just a couple random. Let's just
They're
see. And
random. Some of the best of all time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But what I wanted to do is when do they really take off? And it's
Sure.
amazing. It's remarkable. I did this with Jalen Duren as well, just kind of comparing him to Bam Adebayo. It's like everybody takes a couple years before they take off. So let me just tell you James Harden, just for fun.
Okay.
James Harden averaged 9 points, 12 points, and then 25, 30, the rest.
Okay.
And then
Yep. Year
let me go
three.
to Ray Allen, 10 or 13 points, 19 points, and then 25. So it
And you
takes
think Ray Allen would have been more ready coming out too? That's
yeah,
that's helpful.
yep, exactly. So it doesn't matter who you are. It takes a couple years in the NBA game to figure it out, and then you
Yeah.
go. So your thoughts when you see him, and just it's like, do you see the path to being really good, or do you still have some concerns with him?
There's certain things that I have concerns, but for the most part, yeah, I absolutely see the path. And I think the
Yeah.
reason I see the path is you were talking about what people are doing year one. Ivy was 16.3 points. He shot the three better than we thought at 34%. And I think that one of the big knocks on him coming out was two things, honestly. We knew he could get to the hoop, but could he shoot the three? Where was his mid range jumper? We'll go three things. And what about his on ball defense? He dramatically improved in all three areas as the year went on. To see him do that makes me realize like dude wants to improve, dude wants to be better, and he's willing to put in the work at the things he's not great at.
Yes.
That's why I think he'll be better because he has all the athleticism in the world, right?
That's the key with him is athleticism's there, and can you see the game and just be a basketball player, and the stuff will come as he learns the NBA game versus, and that was it. Remember we talked about him coming out of Purdue. We're like, he's going to be better in the
Yeah.
NBA, but it's so different in the NBA, and that's what he's getting used to because at Purdue, a couple guys in the paint all the time. It's so
Yeah, I remember those
different.
days.
Yeah, so to have an opportunity for him to get out in transition more, just all kinds of stuff. And that's what I've noticed
Yeah.
about him and his game is like he's looking to run. And I don't know if we'll do that like as much as he wants to or whatever, but like his strength is using as his athleticism in space, open, and he's just going to get more and more confident with that, hopefully.
So can I give you a little something cool?
Yeah.
At the end of the Pistons Magic, the first summer league game, he was doing an interview. It was with him and I want to say Wiseman because Wiseman had a good first game. First game. We'll talk about that later. But Jaden Ivey, they're like, what do you need to do? How can you improve? And he's like, I have to get my teammates involved more. Like he was talking about some of the shot selection. He was 5 of 19. I don't know if you know that in game one. It was rough. So he says, I need to get my teammates involved more and I need to do a better job of having the right shot selection. He had 4 assists. He was 5 of 19 in game one. In game two, this is just shows how quick when he makes the decision, it's done. Game two, 10 assists, 9 of 15 from the floor. So 4 less shots, 6 more assists, significantly more efficient. Thank you very much. Jaden Ivey, you understand how to play the game of basketball. My question is he going to keep playing in Summer League, or is it time for him to sit so we can see Sasser and see if he has potential as a point guard?
Yep. And because let me show
talk
you
about
this
that later.
Yeah, and we'll show you his third quarter here.
Oh, yeah.
In a 3-minute stretch, found Thompson in transition for a dunk. Transition, loves it. Knocked down a 3, hit Duren for an alley-oop dunk.
Yep.
And then completed a 3-point play for his 20th point of the night, all right in 3 minutes. And it's like, that's what we're talking about. Ivey kept it rolling in the fourth, finding Wiseman for an alley-oop. Less than 2 minutes left to cut the deficit. So it's like, boy, if he can slash, finding that transition, hitting guys open for 3, he's hitting some buckets. That's what we're talking about. That all-around game is what you're talking about for sure.
Yeah, and it was basically Jaden Ivey versus the Rockets in game 2. He honestly played really, really well. We ran into red hot Jabari Smith Jr., like red hot, until we put Ausar Thompson on him. That shut him down a little bit. How about that? Sure, it was the last minute and a half before we figured it out. But like, it's Summer League. You have to take all these things with a grain of salt. Like, when Jaden Ivey came out for his first game of Summer League, I was like, oh no, like this dude should be very easily dominating. Like he should be running this, and he's not dominating. He's shooting poorly. He's got 6 turnovers. Like it did not look good. And then he came out game 2 and it was like, oh yeah, that's right. Everybody can get a little rusty. That's okay. Everybody can get a little rusty. He'll be fine. He had 10 assists to 4 turnovers in game 2. And he just looked like he was playing within himself. And I remember him doing that last year at Summer League too. I think he loves basketball so much. I think he wants to play so bad that he just gets so darn into it that like he can't throttle himself down. And then when he finally does, it's like, okay, thank you. All right, play within yourself. It's going well.
And you mentioned Ausar Thompson with his defense, and that's something that was really nice to see. Was he got scored on a couple times? He's not a lockdown defender, but he's not getting bullied. He's not he's not just like out of position, getting burned, like can't keep up with the quickness. It's like he's right there, and a couple players made some really good tough shots on him, but it was not. Or you just watch his defense, and you're like, look at that, like. So your thoughts on his defense? I mean, because that is encouraging.
Yeah. So his defense to me was phenomenal. In fact, every part of his game outside of the shot is exactly what I thought it would be or hoped it would be, and probably more. His defense is where I hoped it would be. His defense is where I hoped it would be. His creation for others, his ability to move the ball, his offensive rebounding, his defensive rebound. Everything else is above where I thought it would be. His ability to get a shot against defenders, not where I hoped it would be.
Okay.
But players who keep the ball moving, who are elite defensive players that can get shots for others and fill the stat sheet. I mean, like, walking triple double in Summer League is not an easy thing to do. You know, he had that Draymond Green triple double stat line type of deal with the 8 boards, 6 assists, and 12 points. Right?
Yes.
It's not the 30-point triple double, but you know, filling the stat sheet with 10 to 14-point triple doubles. I think he could be that for this team, and that's what they need. They need a connector that's going to keep the ball moving between Ivy and Cade and the big men. They need a guy doing that.
Yes, and it reminds me of in hockey, you make or soccer, you make the littlest touch or littlest thing that is such a big difference maker. And he did that in game 2, where just a quick an easy pass that looks easy when it's all done and you get a layup or a guy's wide open, but it's like that's the stuff. It's easy, simple passes. He can see the floor. Just what you're saying. You need that guy to unselfish, and that wouldn't that be great? You're the Draymond Green not triple double, but stat line of 8 points, 8 boards, 8 assists. Like even just something small. Like who cares about the points? The guy is doing everything else really well. Yeah,
I remember there was a year and this is off script. There's a year in fantasy basketball. Yes, I'm a nerd who plays fantasy basketball. And I remember I had Harden. It was 2 years ago, and I was trying to trade him away. And I got 2 good players, but the player that I needed was Draymond Green, because the reason everybody loves Harden is because he's a triple double waiting to happen. Well, so was Draymond Green. So I filled that, but then I think I got DeMar DeRozan and something else in the deal as well. So like that's the kind of player we could get, but he's much more athletic.
Yeah.
And he showed that like he's strong enough. His ability to jump over people for rebounds was pretty remarkable, wasn't it?
And
I know this was a Jaden Ivey video,
but
but
no, let's start. You nailed it. Everything but the literal shot, which again, it's been 2 games, but you can already tell this guy gets the game. He gets
he does.
He gets all the categories. So let's switch gears.
Okay.
The Detroit Lions offense is one that we love. We think it's going to be great. It's year 2, all these things. But PFF had an interesting article. I just want to read this to you, Craig. Get your thoughts.
Okay. Yeah.
PFF went through and they
did the X factors or okay, they did a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, they go biggest strength, biggest weakness, X factor, rookie to watch, and it's like, all right, over under 9 win total. Under. I'm like, under. And he said, this is a difficult team to project because of how much they overachieved in 2022. We get it. But given how little the team improved on the offensive side of the ball this offseason, expect some regression in 2023. Now,
what?
Yeah. So your thoughts on that?
I don't know what to say here because I know what everybody wants me to say. I'm starting to get a little frustrated because everywhere you see these rankings, right, coming off, whether it's CBS Sports, whether it's Bleacher Report, whether it's PFF, no matter who it is, when you're ranking quarterbacks, Goff gets put at like 16. Even if it's for fantasy, it doesn't matter, right? Like Goff's like at 16, 17. If they're ranking St. Brown, it's probably not as much love as he needs. We're not getting the offensive line's not getting the talk that I think maybe they should be. And so it feels like everybody thinks there's going to be regression. We'll talk about this later. The only place I'm worried about regression is the wide receiver core.
Sure.
And we have a whole segment devoted to that later on. But like, I honestly don't understand why the regression would be there. We talked about this last year, and I'm going to talk for a second here. I'm really sorry, Chris.
Hit it.
What was the thing last year before the season that we said all these position players, they're okay? Like we got Jamal Williams, Swift is always hurt. We have these wide receivers, mostly unknown. St. Brown had a really good rookie year. This was last year, but we said they have a fantastic offensive line. Mm-hmm. And so that good offensive line will make every position better because it gives everybody more time to do their job. So on paper, I understand the thought of regression, but last time I checked, that entire offensive line is back and even more healthy, hopefully, to start the year than it was to end the year last year. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give the argument of, sure, I could understand maybe a little regression because they outperformed. But the one place that I don't think outperformed was the offensive line. I think they almost met expectations. So what if they get even better and meet expectations? I'm done.
Oh, absolutely. Nope. And I'm going to go off what you're saying and add to that. So with the offensive line being really good, I think we underachieved in our rushing attack. And it
is.
And we said,
okay,
both of our running backs were going to change. Jamal, love you, lots of touchdowns. But there's the wiggle, the make you miss is not there. And then Swift, you're not healthy and you miss holes and you don't put your head down when you should. And so there was a lot of good 8-yard runs last year by either one of those backs. And we're looking at like, man, you make one guy miss and you take that for 40. And we don't need to take every run 40 yards. But if you can have 10% of your wide open runs, because that's the thing about Ben Johnson, so schemed up, so awesome, creative. And then you go into year 2 of Ben Johnson. Last year was year 1 of him doing, and remember, even in the beginning of the season, it was who's calling plays. You remember Dan Campbell kind of wanted it, but he finally gave it up. So it's like, this is all Ben Johnson. I don't see how they regress.
I remember him testing Ben Johnson at the Senior Bowl. Yeah. Right? Like, oh, this will be a good opportunity to see how he calls plays. I'm like, you can't call like half the plays you want to call at this. But anyways, I don't understand the regression talk. I think what it comes back to is kind of that Detroit versus everybody mentality. People at the time were like, love what they did during the draft and during free agency. Everybody was like, I loved what they did with their backfield. I love the overhaul. It was time. Now, all of a sudden, Swift, he's going to the Eagles. He's settling in there. And Jamal Williams is with the Saints. And all of a sudden, people are like, you know what? I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I'm buying that these two guys are going to be better than the other two guys. What's not to buy? Like, I guess I don't understand that. And I think what you were talking about, the amount of runs last year where you said make one guy miss because the offensive line put him in position to make one guy miss. Swift would just cut outside, and often that would limit his potential. Williams couldn't make the one guy miss.
Right.
It was hard for him. Sometimes he did, but it was hard for him. That's not what his game is. His game is to fall forward, right? To get those extra few yards, not those extra 30 or 40 yards. Montgomery is better at making one guy miss. He just flat out is. And Gibbs has already shown better, what's the word I want to use? Poise, better,
just
a better mentality when he was at Alabama.
Yeah.
Like he was a smarter runner in college than Swift was in the NFL.
Yeah. This
Georgia Tech too.
Yeah, this is going to be, I can't wait because I think, and I know we're going against the grain. We're under center way more than any other team. I think it's second most under center snaps in the NFL. So we're
great. Jared Goff's awesome in play action. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're under center. We're running. We're doing so many things that if you can run successfully, and that was so frustrating last year. You saw really good things that just never materialized fully. It's like, again, are you going to break every run that is blocked really well for 60 yards? No, but if you can get one more pop a game, that's 16 rushes or 17 rushes a game that just give you flip the field. So, and I really don't see the regression at all.
Yeah, the only place I see regression is if Jared Goff decides he's in LA again, and that doesn't seem to be happening. Yep. If there was going to be regression, why did Ben Johnson say no at his opportunity to be a head coach?
That's right.
Like, why would he, knowing like, hey, you know what? This team probably doesn't have exactly what I thought it had. I'm just going to come back anyway. Like, he obviously sees something special happening. Like, obviously. There's another ranking that came out. They ranked head coaches, and Dan Campbell was sitting there at 18. I'm like, really, at 18? To have the talent that he had last year, almost make the playoffs, he's the 18th best coach? Seriously?
I know. It's like, am I... Yeah, and you said it, Jared Goff. We're gonna go with Jared Goff, but man, I was kind of looking at some games last season. Man, he's putting the ball on the money. He played so well, and so I think, and I love seeing that the diversity in the offense, which it's like we're gonna find what works each game. I just because there's enough to do. It's not like, well, they took away that. I'm not sure, because there was seasons with Detroit where it's just like, oh, we don't have our this play, or it's like, so I just feel like we should be fine.
No, we should be fine, and we are so multiple, and the changes that we made only help us be more multiple on the offensive side of things. And Jared Goff started proving last year that he doesn't even need necessarily everything around him to be perfect. He just needs to have the right system that fits his skill set.
Yes.
Because when receivers were in, when receivers were out, when players were hurt, when players were not, he still was good. He was still good.
Yep.
And when he had what he needs is a fairly clean pocket. But even the numbers when he was pressured were better. Like, across the board, he was just better because he had more confidence.
Yeah. No, we're gonna be good. I'm excited for the season. We'll be fine.
All right, so let's keep alternating back and forth Pistons lines. You good with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so right now what we want to talk about is the Detroit Pistons. We're through 2 summer league games, and I want to talk about the big men. And I want to get a little bit on Marcus Sasser as well. But Chris, first I want to get your thought process on the big men. Jalen Duren and James Wiseman both have been playing almost 30 minutes a night. Both are doing their thing. Where are you at? Because I don't know if there's enough minutes. One of them's got to beat out Bagley, but I don't know how many minutes there are for these guys. They're not going to play, 24 minutes each during the regular season. I think it's going to be more of one's in, one might not be in unless the other gets injured. So where are you at between these two guys and what they've shown?
I think with the big man, it's like, all right, who's going to be the softest? Because I can't have you out there if you're soft, and you can kind of just tell, right? It might not show up on the stat sheet, but who's kind of, And so I think that's been Wiseman, but then Wiseman's been the softer one, if you will. But then Duren keeps kind of jumping around and you see flashes of the good stuff.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
question. But then you see him kind of out of position, just little things where it's like he's not ready. But then you're like, well, he's 19. So I think Duren has shown that, man, I like him. And both of these guys are almost in the same boat where the ceiling's still there. You still hope. What do they have? Right. Obviously, Duren, he's so young, but what's the ceiling for both of these guys? But when I watch Duren, I feel better about him just defensively, what he's doing. I'd like to see him play more than Wiseman at this point.
Yeah. And here's the thing. What I saw from both of them is really good and really bad in the summer league. But I'm more okay with that with a 19-year-old than I am a 22-year-old. That's just the way I see it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
That's just kind of the way I see it. But Wiseman, here's the interesting thing, and maybe it's only a 2-game sample size. I understand that Wiseman had his good moments. I'm just going to say what bugs me about Wiseman right now. He runs and he bends over so much that he's 7'2", but when he runs, when he stands, when he's going up for a shot, it's like he's 6'8", 6'7".
Wow. Great point.
It's so weird. And he has to, in order to block a shot, he has to make up for those 4 or 5 inches as he's going up to block the shot too.
Bending over.
He's just bent over. And part of it is like he's so tall, but he's trying to be athletic because he is really athletic.
Yeah.
Like he is really athletic. Jalen Duren, on the other hand, is a few inches shorter, but he plays very upright. Sometimes I'd like him to loosen up a little bit, like he's super upright and rigid. Here's what you saw. Here's the worst that Duren had. Duren was good, but at his worst in game 1, where he was still efficient with his shooting, he still had 8 rebounds, but he had 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
And part of that's like, hey, try and make a play at Summer League.
Right. Let's get weird a little, huh?
All right. So, but then game 2, 10 of 14, 10 rebounds, right? Like 2 turnovers. He limited his turnovers. Wiseman's good and bad. Man, oh man. When Wiseman was good, he was really, really good. But when he was bad, he was really, really bad. His second game, he went 7 of 17. It was like they gave the ball to him in the post. And everybody, it was like a suction. It's like he had the world's largest gravitational pull. Part of that's because we have no shooting around the perimeter right now.
Sure.
And part of that is because everybody knows that James Wiseman his second, and his third option is to shoot. So he's going to get the ball in the post and he's going to bring the ball low. Like big man 101 here. Keep the ball higher, right? He's going to put the ball on the ground and then he's going to start bringing the ball up and to his shot from like somewhere around his mid thigh.
Yeah.
Like
8 feet up. Let's just start the process.
How about we just keep it high? Let's just be a normal 7'2" guy. Like let's just do that because he's the tallest guy on the floor and he should be absolutely bullying Jabari Smith in the post.
And instead, well, that's what it is. So I remember
the first game was great.
I looked at this with Bam, where I just like remember we were just kind of talking about it. If you're just joining us, where we looked at it took him 2 years, year 3, incredible improvement. You just see it, and that's what we're looking at here. It's like gotta be there, man. Gotta be there, Wiseman. And this
year
is
4.
your year. Yeah, year 4. Where you at? And that's where we're like Duren can still make some of these mistakes, still do some things, and you just feel a little bit better. But he should be dominating. I mean, just really looking clean out there. And it's like, dude, you nailed it. Like big man 101. Just let's see how low and small I can make myself. And it's like,
what are we doing here?
Great. Like in high school, the big guy would get it. And it's like, just keep it up here.
And I understand it's not necessarily that. But what successful big man do you see crouch over when he gets the ball on the offensive side? I don't see it. And I guess here's my biggest takeaway between Duren and Wiseman, because both are young, both have a high ceiling, both do. The difference between Duren's game from the regular season last year and G League, Duren improved. Like you see his jump shot has gotten a little more fluid. It just has. You see he has a little more defensive awareness, and he's still doing the things he did well. Wiseman, I feel like he's the exact same player. The exact same player.
And so what do you think it looks like if you had to guess rotationally as the season starts? What would you guess?
Yeah, my guess would be it depends on how badly they want to start Ausar. If they want to start Ausar, I know that sounds weird because we're talking the 5. I think rotationally, what I would imagine would happen is maybe Stu at the 4, Duren at the 5, Bagley the first person off the bench for the big men. I that's kind of what I see happening until he gets hurt in game 8, and then Wiseman ends up being the first guy off the bench. But I also, the thing is at the 4, you're gonna have times where Bogey's gonna play the 4 too.
Okay.
Just to get Ausar time. So the minutes are limited. They're limited there, and I don't think Monty Williams is going to have any room for Duren and Wiseman at the floor at the same time. I don't even know if he's going to have room for like Duren and Bagley on the floor at the same time.
Yeah. It's crowded. And then
it's crowded.
You throw in Sasser. We're going to talk about him for a second. Your thoughts on Sasser so far?
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Sasser. Thank you so much for reminding me in the video that I put out. My thoughts on Sasser, game 1, I was thrilled. Here's what you notice about him. He's not a stupid athlete. He's just not. He's fine, but he doesn't have that super quick twitch. What he does have is he has the ability to use the dribble and has a really good feel on how to get himself open for a shot.
Yes.
I'm not worried about the 1 for 6 in game 2. Like, whatever. He had an off shooting night. Who cares? He hasn't played in 3 months and now he's back to back. He hasn't played in 4 months and now he plays back to back nights. Whatever. Here's what I will say. He's not a point guard. I don't think he is yet. Not yet. His handle is not tight. It's not a tight handle. And that was proof because Xavier Simpson, who honestly doesn't have a chance to make this roster, I don't think. Right? Like, you want to talk about a bad shot, like shoot from here. And I it's always been weird. Love Xavier Simpson. Love him. But like, if Sasser's ready to play point guard, who's running that second team? Sasser.
Yeah. And so my thoughts are, I saw a guy that you said it is not athletic. We knew that coming in, but he's
not unathletic.
Right. But not, I mean, anybody that's just going to be
not Ivy.
No, not right. And then, but the second thing was, and you and I've talked about it with some of these other guys, in 2 games of summer league, I just need to see that you understand the game a little bit and you're not completely not confused, but just stuck in college ball or I don't know, where you just, cutting, moving, couple good passes, found himself open, shuffled left, shuffled right a little bit to create himself a wide open lane to shoot. Little things like that feel good about. And again, it's 2 games into summer league, so you can't live and die on anything, but I think his shot will be fine. I think he's a good player that he's going to be the guy in that second unit.
Yeah. Hey, just to take this in a weird spot, because you nailed it right there. I think he can absolutely be the guy that he'll keep the ball moving. He can run the team if you need him to, but he'll be next to probably Monty Morris. Here's this one. Multiple people. Buddy better make the team. Buddy Bayheim, right? Odds on Buddy make the team if he keeps shooting 6 of 7. Here's the deal. Like, the team clearly needs him playing because there's a very large lack of perimeter shooting in summer league. It's just proof you're not trying to win. You're trying to develop players. Buddy Bayheim has played in these 2 games a combined. Can you guess? We're going to have some fun with top 5 later, some top 5 videos. Yeah. Can you guess how many minutes Buddy's played in 2 summer league games? He's 6 of 7 for 3, remember?
Combined minutes, 20.
Great. 10.
Oh, get him out of here.
5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, he's just chucking up threes and making them. And then they still pull him.
Get out of here.
Like, he has to be the worst defensive player of all time, right? Like,
yes. What is going on? So, Buddy, dude, that's funny. 5 minutes a game, get in there, hoist, you'll make them. And that's all we want you to do. That's
it. That's it. Oh man.
I don't know. We'll see on him, but that would be fun to watch and see. Oh,
This is what he's saying is the starting lineup.
oh.
Yeah, I don't see Isaiah Stewart not being in that starting lineup. I mean,
That's
I
right.
get being a guy off the bench, but I don't know, man. You got to have some resemblance of shooting in the 4 or the 5. One of them has to be able to shoot. Otherwise, Jaden Ivey can't do their thing.
That's right. Yep.
But I like it. I like it, man. I like it.
Like it.
I like it a lot.
You want to switch topics?
Yeah, I think we should switch chop picks here. I think what we need to do is we need to go back to the Lions. Okay. So now what we want to talk about is the Detroit Lions wide receiver room. Chris, I want to talk about the wide receiver room. I've looked around on this team, looked at every position.
Mm-hmm.
And the position that keeps, it's not like I think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. But the position that I keep wondering about, I keep worrying about, is the wide receivers. Am I dumb? And maybe it's the 6-game suspension. Where are you at with our wide receiver room? And while you're talking about it, maybe I'll kind of pull up. I was going to say I'll pull up our depth chart if you want.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Yep. Oh, yeah. Pull the depth chart too. But yeah, when you look at the starters, so you got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Boom. Yep. Love it. And you also, what you love about him is he's going to be durable and he's going to be on the field. Like that's a nice thing to know. I mean, he's just that type of player. You just don't picture him getting injured. But then Josh Reynolds, so Jameson Williams, that's not right. So Josh Reynolds, there we go, is a guy that he's a good player. He's not going to do anything. He's a depth piece, but he's going to be thrust into.
When you said not going to do anything, you mean wrong, right?
Yeah, so he's not going to be. Yeah. He's going to be thrust into like the starting lineup with Marvin Jones, we have to remember Marvin Jones is 34 or something like that. We had Marvin Jones in his absolute prime, and he was a great player and loved what he did for us. But we just got to remember I don't think we're getting the same Marvin Jones. So
he was the fourth option. He was the fourth option in Jacksonville.
Yep. Yeah. So all of a sudden you look around and it's like, and again, Khalif Raymond and Tom Kennedy and Trinity Benson, those are just kind of trick pieces. They're not your every down wide receivers. So you really you're thin, and any injury puts you in a tough spot wide receiver wise when all of us, we could have a really good wide receiver room if it was for Jameson, but he'll come back obviously. But your thoughts on the wide receiver. It does scare me a little bit.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. So here's where I'm at. You have what is truly a top 15, top 10 wide receiver. Top 15, top 10 wide receiver in Amon-Ra, right? Can we agree on that one?
Yes.
So that's probably enough to keep you going. But that first 6 game is what scares me the most, because he's going to be in the slot. On the outside, you have Marvin Jones Jr. and Josh Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Josh Reynolds proved to be okay. Like he was fine. Like he was perfectly fine, but he wasn't great. And he's also injury prone. He was always banged up.
Yep.
Behind him, you're hoping for either, Trinity Benson and Maurice Alexander, they've had their shot. They haven't developed. They just haven't developed. So you're hoping that it's either Antoine Green, the rookie out of North Carolina, or Chase Cota, but he played the slot even though he was taller at Oregon.
Yes.
So, I'm here's my thing. Marvin Jones Jr., love him. He's not DJ Chark anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like Chark, and we were missing Chark and I know what people are like, well, Chark didn't play a lot in the first half of the year. Well, in the first half of the year, we went like 2-7.
We struggled. Yes.
Yeah, we went 2-6. Right. And so it's like, yeah, we struggled. And then when he started getting healthy, oh yeah, it was good. I'm just worried about the get off here, because you have Sam Laporta, who I think we all think is going to be a good tight end.
Right.
But rookie tight ends are notoriously slow developing.
Yes. Give him a few weeks. Dude, you nailed it. And this is our only hope, not our only hope, but.
Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Bob, we're going to scheme in a lot of stuff. And look, we keep giving Ben Johnson so much props, and as he should. But hey, look, someone put it in the comments earlier, we're going to get they're gonna have film on him. They're gonna know some more tendency stuff. Like he kind of stunned the league last year. So it's not gonna be. He's gonna have to come up with more stuff. But this is what we're gonna have to do, especially in the first 3 weeks of the season, because Josh Reynolds is a weird receiver like that. He's not a go up and get it 50-50 guy, but even though he's tall, he kind of is, right? But he's not a quick get open guy. He's kind of this in between. Are you as fast? Not really. So that's where he's not going to win one-on-ones a lot. You're going to have to get him open. You're going to have to use St. Brown a ton. So it'll work, but man, what if Jameson Williams was healthy going into this, ready to rock and roll? That just changes everything. He is everything. He's a top speed, everything guy. So
he's a top 5 speed guy in the NFL. I'm not saying he's a top 5 receiver. I'm not saying any of that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But I got a couple more comments here that I really do like, because I said Marvin Jones Jr. isn't DJ Chark, mostly because he was, he'll be 9 years older than Chark was last year, or 8 years older. But Dwayne says Chark was average, about as good as Reynolds. Here's the only difference. And maybe Jones still has enough left in the tank to do this for you. Chark, you couldn't just bring the safety up because you had to respect his deep ball.
You did.
You had to respect his ability to beat the corner one-on-one to get deep, especially when the ankle started getting healthy. Reynolds, honestly, is a much better intermediate and short route runner than Chark. He just is. But who's the guy taking the top off?
Yep.
Who is it? And that's the struggle that I have until J-Mo gets back. And maybe Laporta proves right away that he can stretch a defense from the middle of the field. Maybe St. Brown is the guy who's going to be trying to take the top off. I don't know.
And you have to remember that the Lions, I believe the Lions want to run the football. That's priority one. I really believe that. So it's like, well, why does wide receiver matter? Because you're exactly right. There's got to be that guy that gives you a true threat of taking the top off. And there's only, you just said that again, there's only about 5 guys that really, truly, you got to have a guy back. Jameson can be one of those guys that makes defenses put a safety way back. I mean, Tyreek Hill, you got a safety back there. I would have a safety like punt return. Like we're not going to let you guys.
I would like you to line up 25 yards behind.
We're not going to let you take this to the house. We got to make you play the long game. And that's what defenses will do if we have somebody that goes over the top.
That's what they will do. And again, Khalif Raymond, yes, he gets open. Yeah. There is no doubt. So I think we can make it worthwhile. But here's where I'm going to bring this to a little different place too. Yes. Am I worried about the wide receiver room? Yes, for the first 6 games only. I'm worried about for the first 6 games only because I think the 2 answers to Jameson Williams not being there are Laporta and Gibbs, but they're rookies. If they were second year or third year players, I wouldn't be that worried about it. I wouldn't be that worried about it. I just wouldn't. But here's where I'm going to go that's different with it. Yes, we might not be able to have the same aired out attack that we had last year for the first 6 weeks, or at least we have to scale it back, but we have a much better defense. So let our defense play, run the football, right? Like you were saying, run the football and let's go from there.
Yes. Love that. And isn't it amazing just as you're talking about these Laporta, just these players that can pop Gibbs.
Yeah.
We've got dudes now. We haven't had that in a while. And it's funny because what we used to do is always put Swift in the dude category. Like, oh, we got Swift. And it's like that. And he never worked. So we didn't have anybody. We didn't have like playmakers. So now you have St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Gibbs, Laporta on the offensive side of the ball. Even Khalif Raymond.
Khalif Raymond's a playmaker. Yeah, thank you for saying. I was going to say it right as you said it.
It's funny because we actually have playmakers, and we actually had less than we thought in the years prior because we always threw Swift in there. Like, oh, he's a playmaker. It's like never really was. He was. Let's not get into that. But he was. But it's just amazing how many more playmakers we have now.
Last thought. You ready for it?
Last thought.
Swift spent the majority of his time in the slot last year, right? We talked about the guy, Jackson Smith and Jigba, coming out of the draft, right? And we said just because he spent his entire college career in the slot doesn't mean he can only play the slot. I think the same thing is said for St. Brown. And I think there is a world where you either flex Laporta out or you can have, you can have Montgomery in the game and flex Gibbs out. And St. Brown can be on the outside and you can have all your weapons on the field at the same time.
Yep. I love it. So, all right, let's switch gears to something.
We're switching gears. Let's have some fun in this one.
Something fun. I'm going to ask you for you to rank
what is this?
The top 5. So here we go.
Whew. Okay.
I'm going to ask you, Craig, to rank the top 5 fast food restaurants. And this is by total sales in 2021.
Total sales. All right. If you're watching this live, hit me with the comments. I need some help. All right. So, Chris, I'm just going to start throwing out some names. Okay. I'm just going to start throwing out some names. Number 1 is going to be the one that I don't want to admit this, but I probably go to the most. I'm going to say, because you got to go national chain. You can't just have a regional chain. So I'm not going to say Culver's. Okay. But I'm going to say McDonald's. Are they in the top 5?
Number 1. Correct.
Thank you so much for your time. Okay. So now what we've got to do is we got to bring in all the different things, right? So you got Wendy's, you got Taco Bell, you've got Chick-fil-A. How nationwide are they? I don't know. But my second guess is Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A's on there. They're number 3.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Chick-fil-A's number 3. So I got 1 and 3. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell number 4.
Okay. So, all right. 3 for 3. Now I don't know if I want to be excited or nervous right now. I'm starting to sweat a little bit just because we got this. It's a good thing going. Okay. Does Subway count? Yes or no?
Subway does. They're number 8, so no go.
Okay.
So you've got 1, 3, and 4 right now.
Wendy's.
Wendy's number 5.
Okay.
Now,
so I am missing number 2.
It's a little tricky. Number 2. They're big, boy. They're big. But when you're thinking fast food with the boys, you're not thinking them. So this is a little tricky.
You're thinking fast food with the boys. You're not thinking them.
No, you'll never go there. They do have food. Let me just say food is offered at this place, but it's.
You are telling me number 2 is Starbucks?
Correct. Curveball City.
Curveball. You are so nice to me right there.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, that was you nailed it. You hit the big ones. I didn't know Chick-fil-A would be 3. Powerhouse right up there, but you nailed it, man. That was good.
This is sales. So what about this, Chris? What is the place that's not on this list that you're just like, ooh, every once in a while you just get a hankering and you're in the top 5 and you're like, I gotta go there. I gotta hit it.
Oh, which one of these in the top 5 do I?
Either which one of these in the top 5, or is there a one on the outside that you're like, yeah, I'm in on this. That I like.
That's not often, but when I do, it's Taco Bell. That when you're really just like, I haven't had it in a while. Absolutely. And then you go there and they're famous for they obviously are always changing their menu, adding new stuff.
Constantly changing their menu.
It's all the same, but just cooler names. And it's like, oh, that is sour cream on it. And it's just like, yeah. So I love it. I love little Taco Bell. All right.
Shane was talking about Starbucks. Who does that? Nobody goes to Starbucks.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
We got another one.
Okay. Here's what I got for you, Craig. I need you to tell me the top 5 most searched for NFL teams. And this is searching on Google.
You just go to Google and you search a team and you search a team name.
Yep. Who's the top 5 most searched for in 2022?
Okay. The top 5 most searched for teams. So let's just start throwing out teams. And do you want me to give some logic behind this or not?
Just give me some things. I'll let you know where they stand.
All right. Dallas Cowboys.
Number 1.
Stupid. America's team. The uglier shade of blue than the Detroit Lions. Yeah. That's how I have to say it with the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, Dallas. Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers, number 3.
Okay. New York Jets.
New York Jets, not in the top 10.
I mean, good. Thank goodness. Okay,
yeah.
so we've got 1 is the Cowboys, 3 is the Packers. San Francisco 49ers.
San Fran's there, but they come in at number 7.
Okay. Wow. This is not what I was anticipating. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And I'm starting to be like, where am I supposed to go with this? Because big markets have taken me in a turn for the worst right now. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh, number 4. So you got Dallas 1, Green Bay 3, Pittsburgh 4.
Okay. 1, 3, 4. Didn't I do that with the fast foods too?
Nice.
Okay. So what I see the trend of is just what teams are on TV the most and what teams are America's teams, so to speak. So who are the other teams that are America's teams? Oh, I'd hate it if it was. Let's go with a different one because Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City, number 6. Oh.
All right, I'm getting killed here. So
No,
now here's where my struggle is. Do I go with the team that's popular or almost breaking through? Because I can think of 2 teams. Don't tell me where they're at. I'm thinking Buffalo. I'm thinking Cincinnati. Or do I go with the more popular, like everybody loves to hate them, but they're also popular, like the New England Patriots, the New York Football Giants, stuff like that. So I'm going to go the Bungles, the Cincinnati Bengals.
No, nowhere on this list.
Not even close.
No, you had it right.
Apparently we need to talk to him. We need to talk about the Bengals more on Sports Talk Extra, huh?
That's right. So you said it. Number 2 is the New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's stupid. Tom Brady doesn't play there anymore.
So it's Cowboys, Patriots, Packers, and Steelers. So you just need number 5.
Giants.
No, close. Over on the East Coast a little bit.
Eagles.
Nice. So it's Cowboys, Patriots, Packers, Steelers, Eagles. Dude.
You put together a list of teams that I never search.
That's right. Not once. Am I going to? Hey, what are Patriots doing? What did Bill Belichick say in his press conference?
What non-quote does Bill Belichick have for me right now?
Yeah,
is the real question.
This
is ridiculous.
I love it, man.
Well, you're not the only one who brought some fun stuff.
Oh, hit me.
All right. So here's what we want to do. I want to do a top 5 with you. I want you to start throwing out your top 5. This isn't research based. This is just Chris's top 5. We can make this a working list. I can give you some help with some things. You know what I'm saying? But the first thing I want to talk about is something I think a lot of people like: top 5 TV comedies.
Okay.
So shows that make you laugh. How about that?
I love it.
Shows
for me,
that make
top 5 is going to be number 1, King of Queens. Love it. Just a good old sit down and
King of Queens. Look at that.
King of Queens. Number 2 is The Office. Number 3 is Home Improvement.
Number 3 is Home Improvement.
Yeah.
So just as a recap right now, you're going King of Queens 1.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is The Office.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Home Improvement.
Home Improvement, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. I'll stop there. What's your top 3?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so none of my top 3 are your top 3.
Wow, nice.
Not one. You want me to start with 3 and go to 1, or start with 1 and go to 3?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so we'll start with number 1, greatest TV show of all time, unequivocally. It's the GOAT. It's like saying, if you don't have this one at number 1, it's like saying Michael Jordan isn't the GOAT, Chris. It's like you're a LeBron guy or you're some other guy, but Jordan's the GOAT and Seinfeld is the greatest comedy of all time.
Seinfeld. Seen about 7 episodes total in my life, and
just hilarious to me.
And just gotta get more into it. Okay, love it.
Absolutely hilarious to me. All right, number 2. My wife and I are about to finish watching this right now, so this is probably a little bit of recency bias. Also, the second time I've been through it. Oddly enough, kind of embarrassed to say this. New Girl.
New
Girl.
Never seen it.
funny.
Okay.
Funny. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. And then the unpopular number 3. The unpopular number 3 to everybody who loves The Office, Parks and Rec is my number 3.
Yeah, I've heard it's a dupe kind of, side by sider of
Except
same
better.
themes. Yeah.
We just had 15 people unsubscribe because I said Parks and Rec was better than The Office. But you said The Office was better than Parks and Rec, so we're fine. We got it covered.
Yeah,
we got it
cool.
covered. Don't even worry
That's
about
hilarious. Yeah.
All right, give me your. Do you have a final 2 for me?
Yeah, the final 2 would be boy, I would go final 2 would go comedies. Man, this is no. Who do you have a 4 and a 5?
Yeah, I got a 4 and a 5.
Yeah.
All right, number 4 is How I Met Dwayne, New Girl. Is that where the girl moved in with the guys? Yes, that is. Do you think it's funny? Yes, I do. Dwayne, do you? All right, my number 4. I'm gonna go kind of weird here. I was back and forth between the two. I'm gonna go with How I Met Your Mother. Kind of a off, and then I'm going old school. And I don't mean like 80s, 70s, 60s for my number 5. I mean 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm going Three Stooges. I love me some Stooges.
Why not?
Why not? High school, that's, high school, we're on spring break. Me and my dad, that's what we did, right?
Yep.
Cocoa Krispies or Honey Smacks, that's what they were, Sugar Smacks, and we would just watch I almost said Saved by the Bell. That's another good one. We'd watch the Three Stooges on vacation. It's a good time.
I love it. Yep, dude, those are good. Mine are so different, and it's like it's amazing how The Office still reigns. So good. But yeah, King of Queens. Watch that in college and watch it today. Just like
watch it today. It's just kind of your turn my brain off.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay, I can do that. All right. So now what we have is I got a different one for you. Can I do this one a little different for you, Chris? So for this one, I'm going to give you 5 movies.
Okay.
Okay. You have 5 spots that you can put these movies. You have to give me a ranking before you hear the other 4 and then the other 3. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I'm going to give you a sports movie. You put it in a spot. You ready?
Love it.
All right. I'm going to give you a tough one right off the bat. Rocky.
Oh, Rocky 5. Never liked them. Never got into it.
It's not a tough one.
Too many Rockies. Next.
Rocky 4. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. Rocky 4, number 4.
Yeah.
No, okay. So, all right, we're going to go a little different with you on this one. We're going to pull at your childhood memories. The Sandlot.
Ooh, Sandlot. Really epic movie that we all loved.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a 3.
That's a 3. Okay, so you're leaving room for something to be better, but you don't know what the other 2 movies are.
I know.
So I might really let you down. And I've started to look at this list of my favorite sports movies, and I've started realizing a lot of them are pretty obscure. So I really hope you've seen all of them. All right, so you got 5 is Rocky. I thought that would be tough for you. 3 is Sandlot. What is arguably the greatest sports football movie of all time? Remember the Titans.
Oh, easily number 1. So many.
Nothing is even going to compete with it.
Nope. So number 1 for Remember the Titans. I love the story. Great movie.
Okay. You watch any sports comedies?
Yeah.
Okay. Baseball sports comedies.
Oh, yeah. No, do I watch sports comedies? Yes. Do I ever think they're that good? No. I will put this at a 4.
Major League.
Oh. Is that
you
my
have
next
no
one?
marbles?
Is that
Your
my
next
last
one is Major League is the sports comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 4.
So you're at a 4. Okay.
Yes.
So your number 2 sports movie is none other than Space Jam, the original.
Oh, perfect, man! What a top! So Remember the Titans, Space Jam 2. Yep. I love it. So that was a great. That was
absolutely,
great, man. And then,
absolutely.
Sandlot
Space
3.
Jam 2, Sandlot 3. Major League 4, Rocky 5. If you had the opportunity to redo them right now, would you?
No, not at all.
Oh, you'd keep them right where they're at.
That's unbelievable. So
That's unbelievable. Good for you. Wow.
Let me do one to you on that, Craig.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you top 5 cookout foods. This is what you're gonna get at a cookout. You don't know what's coming next. All right.
This is fantastic.
Here we go.
I enjoy this one. Okay.
Here we go.
Let's go.
The cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger cookout. Who's grilling it?
Wow.
Am I grilling it?
No, you're at somebody's place. Like, what do you want? You want cheese? You're not doing it. It's somebody else. Cheeseburger.
Nobody else is going to do it right. They always get afraid when they're cooking a cheeseburger for you and they cook it well done or medium well. And it's just like, no, you got to do that medium. So I'm going to put the cheeseburger because I love a cheeseburger. You're not going to go wrong with a cheeseburger. So I'm going to put it at 3 because they're going to cook it wrong.
Okay.
Otherwise, it should be number 2 or 1, but it's not going to be.
Hot dog.
Bratwurst or hot dog?
Hot dog, just regular standard.
4.
Okay.
I'm going to regret this.
All right.
I'm going to regret this. This is a bad decision. Is it like an Oscar Mayer? Is it a Nathan's? Is it a Costco dog? All right. Sorry. All beef.
Coleslaw.
5. Yeah. No.
Uh-oh.
Like, I'm in trouble here. I'm in trouble. Coleslaw. Nobody's going to say you want just coleslaw. Like, that's a side. That's not a main, but I'll take it. Yeah, 5. I don't even want it. Keep it away. I don't want it on my hot dog. I don't want it near my food. Get it out of here.
Take kind of side again. I hate to side you here, but
you're going to potato salad me?
Baked beans.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. I'm going to trust that you're leaving a heavy hitter for the last one. I love some baked beans. Got my dad's secret recipe. Again, if somebody else makes it, I don't know. But I'm going to go with number 2 because I'm trusting that you're leaving the heavy hitter that if I didn't say that for save that for number 1, I'd look like an idiot.
Yeah, just a perfectly done ribeye steak.
Yeah, number 1.
Yeah.
So if I were to do that over, just so you know, it would go ribeye, burger, dog, beans, slaw.
Yeah, I messed you up. You didn't know I was going to throw some sides in there.
It's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, awesome, man. No, this has been fun. We got more of that.
Absolutely.
I love the blind. Don't know what's coming next. I want to do that.
What's coming? Let's do more of that for sure. Thanks everybody for hanging with us in this one. If you're watching live, if you're not, thanks for watching on tape delay. Is that what we call it?
Yeah, I don't tape delay. I haven't heard that.
Tape delay. What am I?
Years.
82?
Oh, that's awesome, man. No, yeah, we've been on here an hour. We appreciate it. Check out our other channel, Sports Talk Extra. We got that.
Yeah,
Sports
the
extra. And with that, we'll see all of you on the next one.
All right. See ya. Thanks for watching.